Hello everybody, and welcome back to our Valheim playthrough. We're on episode 83, and this one is going to be released shortly before the new year, so we haven't started 2025 just yet. We've got a few days left. Now, in today's episode, we are going to start crafting some of the new crafting pieces, the new build pieces that we gained from bringing back the tar from the plains, which we got in our previous episode. So we have some building to do, we have some comfort items to build, and we'll probably go back to the plains and we'll finish off our plains base and have a look at the farm that we built and all the stuff that we planted. But yeah, first of all, I want to start cracking on with putting in some of these new comfort pieces that we've gained. Now, I mistakenly mentioned this in a previous episode, but to be fair, we're not that. We can actually build it now, which is the hot tub. This is one of our comfort pieces we're going to build. Oh, we can actually put it right there. That's not bad. Now, in that previous episode, I did mention that the hot tub is a little bit awkward, as in order to get the hot tub working and to actually have the comfort bonus given to you, you need to have access to the back of the heating element. Now, the heating element is the stone part at the back of the hot tub. So when we place it down, obviously I'll be able to show you. You might have seen on the ghost kind of outline of the hot tub when we were looking at it there. It had basically it's like a wooden half barrel, almost like a big bath, like a big wooden bath, and then you've got this kind of stone oven bit at the back. So you can see it there. It's got the metal pipe sticking out the top. That is our heating element. That is our heated part, and we need to have access to the back of that. So you can see, or just about see at the back there, there's like a little square entrance on it. There's that square entrance on the back of it. You need to have access to that, because that is where you need to place your wood in order to set the hot tub going. Oh, hello Hugin. What are you doing in my hot tub? Jump in, the water's nice and warm. No, it's not. It's not warm because it's not turned on yet. But yeah, you need to have access to that, because you have to set the heating part going in order for the hot tub to give you a rested bonus. So you can see now our comfort bonus is still 14. We've put some wood in the back here, and our comfort has jumped up to 16. And then you can obviously jump in the hot tub. You can sit down as well. Probably shouldn't be sat in here with all my armour on. We do also have... you do also get wet from doing that, so just be aware. You might want to let yourself dry off before you decide to go out and about exploring or boss fighting. If you haven't haven't let yourself dry out, you might still have the wet debuff. We did also gain a couple more newer items. So here we have a long table. There is also a larger round table as well. I'm pretty sure these two are the tables which give us +1 to our comfort as well. So our comfort 16 should go to comfort 17, and I'm pretty sure that will give us 24 minutes worth of rested buff, which is very, very nice. All of the extra time we can stack on top for the rested buff would be a great thing. Now, with it being Christmas time right now in the real world, now would be a good time for me to actually log on to the world and to do some more recording, but to also build a Christmas tree essentially, because that would also give us an extra comfort bonus, the same as the the same as the maypole or the Mayflower pole that we've got outside the building. Okay, so that's the large round one. This is the long heavy table. It's quite massive. It's quite short as well when you think about it. I was kind of hoping to have the chair at the head of it there, but it's quite huge. We're gonna have this one. Put some chairs there. There you go. Comfort 17. We can put like a few chairs down. Now, is this going to cause issues if we need to get into bed, or are we going to have to? It's not bad. I quite like it. We could do with some chairs on the other side. Oh, it's misaligned. That was some great positioning there from me. Tell you what, we're just going to stick one of these round ones in, because it still gives us some floor space to do other things. I don't want to take up like half the floor space with one table. It's not fantastic. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll scatter a few... Oh, there's a darkwood chair. That's quite expensive though for a chair. Plus, with us having the Raven throne, I believe that throne is, because there's a few different thrones that you can have, but you only get one comfort bonus. So you only get one instance of comfort bonus from the chairs. So we get a +2 from that Raven Throne, and then these 3 chairs around the table aren't giving us any more. But there we go, comfort 17, 24 minutes, that is very, very nice. I'm pretty happy with that. And we have our hot tub, and we also have access to the heating, heat element at the back, so that we can keep filling that up with wood. And if we built it the other way, where it was facing the wall, it would have been a bit of a pain in the backside, because we wouldn't have been able to fill it up with wood without having to knock the stone wall out behind it. So yeah, not fantastic, but we'll make do with what we can. I would prefer to have it facing the other way, and we could probably maybe build up some stone wall parts around the actual entrance to the hot tub, where we can place the wood to keep it burning. You know, kind of the same way we've done with the oven, where we've got the oven half, most of the oven's outside of the building, but then we still have access to the front of it inside the building. I quite like that, actually. It's pretty cool, the fact that they've made it that size that it'll fit in a standard wall segment. Another one of those quality of life things they did. We might be able to do that with the hot tub as well. Okay, how are we doing on food? Actually, no, we'll take these and we'll leave the bread. We don't need to have... Actually, no, we will take the bread because we've only got one left. We'll use that, and then we'll have the soup for afterwards. And we've still got the sea serpent stew, and what have we got? We've got a couple of wolf skewers as well. I still want some pretty high food to go to the plains with. One thing you can also see, if you remember from previous episode, we do have our Lox cape on. I quite like it. It's quite good. Not as good as some others, but it's not that bad of a cape. Okay, let's head back to the plains, and we'll probably carry on with our little plains base, although I'm pretty happy with it so far. We'll check the plants, see how they're getting on. Flax is healthy. The barley should be healthy as well, so they need a bit more time, probably another day or two. Oh, it's misty again. Ugh. I'm not a big fan of the mist, as we've already complained about before. Let's take on some lox. We'll gather some more lox meat. That's probably the most important thing we need right now. There isn't much else that we really need lox pelts for. We've made the cape. We could make a lox carpet or a lox rug out of them if we really wanted to, but other than that, there isn't much else, I don't think, anyway. We might need them later on for other things, for other building things, from, say, the Mistlands or from the Ashlands, so we will obviously keep the ones that we gather now, just in case, so we make sure that we've actually got enough of them should they be needed. That's usually why I put a whole bunch of larger chests down, so as you've seen for a lot of newer chests that we've placed recently, they've all been the big reinforced ones. It's just so that we've got the space to gather a bunch of stuff, and that means we've got plenty of them for later on in the playthrough should we need them. Aha, Lox trophy, and we can also make some misty fishing bait. I'm guessing that would be for catching some plains fish. Not really sure what the difference or what the benefit is from plains fish. Ouch. Ooh, that was a pretty big hit. And a knockback on that bite. Aha, so, okay. This is something I haven't mentioned yet. So when you're fighting lox, obviously they've got the chomp attack, the big bite, and then they've got the stomp attack, the chomp and the stomp. They've got the stomp where they rear up onto their back legs and then stomp the ground. Sometimes when you're fighting them, what will happen is they'll do an attack, you'll parry it and stun them, or like stagger them and get the crit damage bonus on your attacks. And then sometimes they won't attack you after that. What they'll do is they'll just start running off. They'll sometimes run around in a circle, or sometimes they'll just run away. And if you were paying attention when I was hovering over the lox when it started running away, you will have seen that it said wild and then frightened underneath its name. Now what this means is that we can actually tame lox. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in a previous episode yet, but lox are the creature that we can tame from the plains. So we will actually look at doing that at some point. And, again, in a previous episode, if you were paying attention, you will have noticed that when we smelted down the black metal scraps and picked up the black metal bars, one of the new recipes we unlocked was a lox saddle. So lox can actually be ridden. Now, I haven't done this in a playthrough before, because it's only been for this playthrough that I've actually been researching and paying attention to what I can and can't do in certain situations and in the new biomes and stuff. Now, I have played Valheim quite a lot, and I have been in the plains quite a lot. But honestly, until I started playing this playthrough, until I started taming boar and wolves and stuff like that, I never really looked at what other animals you could tame until we did this. So I will, at some point in this playthrough, decide to go and tame some lox, and we'll make some lox friends, maybe breed some. But I will also say that I wouldn't think it's that necessary. Now, riding them sounds like a good idea, and I do wonder how fast they'll be. Maybe they'll be a pretty decent travel method. But one of the things I have experienced whilst in all the other worlds that I've played is that finding the plains boss is a bit of a pain in the backside, and a lot of the time I have had to travel from different plains islands constantly. And with there not being a surefire or a guaranteed method of being able to transfer or to travel with your animals to different islands, I don't think taming them is going to be a great idea, unless of course there is one big plains biome that you find and that you decide to make your like base location, and you decide to spend a lot of time in there. Yeah, definitely. We'll probably do it for this one, because this one seems to be quite a large plains island, and we'll probably spend a lot of time here. So we probably will end up taming a lox and putting a saddle on it and giving it, riding it around. But yeah, I just think it's I don't see it having that huge of a benefit once we've finished with this island, and if there isn't anything else here that we actually desperately need. So let's just say we don't find the location for Yagluth, the plains boss, and he's not on this island, and there isn't anything that tells us where he is. We're going to have to travel around and find a bunch more plains islands. Oh, there's a growth. Hello, let's just sidestep that splodgy attack, thank you. We won't get slowed by you today, sir. But yeah, like I'm interested in taming a lox, and I would like to ride one to see what it's like. Maybe they have an attack, maybe we can attack things with them. One thing I do think is that if we get attacked whilst we're riding the lox, I reckon the lox will take damage over us. Which is not fantastic, because obviously if we're riding around on a lox, we have quite a high chance of attracting things like death skeetos and fullings and stuff like that, so we might be putting the poor thing at risk. Ooh, another runestone. Hello. I will leave this up on the screen for a few seconds for you to read, although it's not... there isn't much of a background to the text, so with the grass in the background it's difficult to read it properly. You might have to pause the video if you want to read that one. So yeah, we'll have a deeper look into the lox and into riding them and seeing what it's like. We'll test it out at some point in the near future. I think this fulling camp in front of us is the camp that we died at multiple times. Yeah, because it's right by the coast and we have explored it this way. And there's even a shaman in there as well. Right, so let's try and pull him away from the camp, see if we can avoid... there's another one behind him. I just don't want to get ganged up on by multiple fullings. And to be fair, that fulling behind the shaman, not this one that's running at us with the torch, but the fulling behind him, that looks like a 1 or a 2 star. He's taller, and he's got this kind of brownish colour to him. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's definitely a 2 star. Yep, yeah, we can see his health bar. Okay, that was a very heavy hit. We're going to have to be very careful taking him on. Let's try and put some distance between him and the shaman, then we can get some attacks in before the shaman starts pelting us with fireballs. Actually, to be fair, that wasn't too difficult. The parrying wasn't difficult, and we were able to use the crit damage and take him down nice and quick. This little guy has the shaman shield, so he was stood right next to the shaman when the shaman used his shield buff. As you can see, they don't get staggered when you attack them when they have that shield on. You have to break the shield and then hit them again in order to cause a stagger, which can be a bit of a pain. Right, let's sidestep these fireballs. Oh, ouch, that was a pretty heavy hit, and the dot was hitting pretty hard as well. It's about 7 damage a hit, but it only ticked about 3 or 4 times, so not that bad. Right, is there anything left in this fulling camp? Because there is something else. Ah, yes, there is. Okay, so one of the things in fulling camps that you will desperately need to look for, but we haven't seen yet, well, we have seen it now, there are 2 of them in the camp in front of us, I can see them. There is one on next to the bonfire on the right, you can kind of see that purpley glowing thing on top of the little totem. And there is another one on the bonfire there. We'll just pick up this flax first. There you go. You can see that kind of glowy purple thing on top of the wooden pole next to the bonfire. So these items are, I think they're fulling trophies, or fulling totems, I think they're called. So these items are the items you need to summon Yagluth, the boss. I can't remember exactly how many, as I've said with pretty much every single boss that we've fought so far. I think you need 5 or 6 of them. It might be more, it might be less, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 or 6 from the last time I checked. Just got a couple of locks to take on. Excuse me, bit of a frog in my throat there. Oh, hello. Okie dokie, that locks started floating because the locks behind it was trying to sprint through. That was funny. And this is going to be a similar fight to the berserkers we had when we first came to this plains biome, where there were 2 of them attacking us at once and we had to keep dragging them around and trying to avoid their attacks. Although with the locks they attack very slowly, they very slowly, and you've got plenty of like windows of opportunity to attack them in between. It's not like the berserkers where they were just chaining attacks over and over and over again, and there was like a little pause between the first one doing an attack and then the second one doing the attack, so that there wouldn't really be much of a window of opportunity to attack one. The berserkers were a pain, whereas the locks are a bit easier to take on. And there you can see the locks was running away. Now, with the locks running away, I don't believe it's the same as the fullings and the death skeetos, where they'll run around in a circle around you because they're trying to get behind you, and they're using that as like a combat technique, whereas the locks do it because they're tameable animals and they're frightened. So I think it's more just that you've done a heavy amount of damage to the locks and then it starts running away because it's scared. As you can see, when we hover over it, it says locks and then in brackets wild, frightened. So it hasn't been tamed and it's scared because we're obviously dealing quite a lot of damage to it. One thing to be aware of about locks is that if they do run away whilst you're fighting them, they will turn around and come back, or they'll stop running away and turn around to hit you again, so it's not like you have to chase them for a long time. Okay, we don't have the bag space to pick up this trophy. Totem. There we go. We'll just drop something. Let's get some more flax. So yeah, fulling totems are what you need to summon Yagluth. I believe it's 5 or 6 you need in total, but we'll have to double check that when we when we actually find the boss summoner, or the spawning location. There we go, there's the second one. I'll probably gather about 10 of them and then take them over with me when we find the boss location and we are ready to go and take him on. One thing you saw me do in the Moda fight, which is something I'll also recommend doing in the Yagluth fight, can't speak today, is we are going to be using the resistance mead just to make sure we have that extra level of protection. It's even more valuable in the Yagluth fight because we aren't wearing any equipment that already has a level of resistance to that element of damage. So with Moda, I was using the cold resistance mead, I believe it is, or the frost resistance mead, which gives us some extra resistance against frost attacks. Now, we are already getting that bonus. Maybe not frost attacks, but we are already getting a cold resistance benefit from the cloaks that we wear. It's one of the things about the wolf cape and this Lox cape that we're wearing is that they protect us against the freezing damage that you would take on the mountain. So I wasn't sure whether or not those cold resistance effects would double stack when we use the cold resistance mead. Whereas Yagluth does a lot of fire damage. And we haven't covered it yet, but I think one of the things we unlocked with Barley, I think it is a fire resistance mead that we can make. Now, none of the gear we're wearing, and I don't believe any of the gear we're going to craft, has any kind of fire resistance on it. I could be wrong about that. I think maybe the gear we could make from the caverns on the mountain. So, you know, the tufts of hair and the claws and stuff that we were picking up. I believe maybe those give you some kind of fire resistance. So we didn't actually build the set, and we only looked at it in the crafting menu, so I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to double check that and get back to you about it, but I'm pretty sure none of the armour we're going to wear in Yagluth, and none of the items we're going to use have any kind of fire resistance, so I would highly recommend making at least 1 or 2 of them. If it's your first time fighting Yagluth, he is very, very difficult. He has a few different attacks that can be quite difficult to get used to fighting against, because they are quite big area of effect attacks. So you kind of have to keep running away and putting some distance between the two of you, and then running back in through opportunities to attack. And he's a bit of a pain, I will say. He's a difficult fight, but again, he's just one of those that I've done so many times that I'm kind of used to how his fight works now. And that's pretty much the advice I'd give for most monsters and most things in Valheim, is that when you first approach them, when you first go there, so for me, the Mistlands right now, and definitely the Ashlands as well, they're going to be very difficult for me to get a handle on, because I've never seen the enemies before. I'm not used to their attack patterns or their behaviours, whether they run away halfway through a fight, or if they stand still, if they chase me all the time, you know, stuff like that. So it's going to be difficult for us to handle learning those, and the same with anyone, really. The more you play the game, the more you fight those enemies, the easier they will be to defeat. So yes, prepare yourselves for a lot of hilarious calamity when it comes to the Ashlands, because I'm probably going to get my butt kicked every time we go there. Okay, we've come back home. We are going to repair up our items, and then we're going to pop some stuff away. Excuse me, I'm burping repeatedly, that's not great. Right, let's put the treasure in there. We'll put the Lock's head. Do we have any other totems? Nope. Trophies. Let's put... I swear I could hear something out here. Yeah, the pigs are crying. Why are you crying, pigs? Oh, it might be breeding. Whoops. So when boar are annoyed, they kind of let out a big squeal, especially tame boar. They let out that big squeal that means they've been attracted to something nearby and they want to fight it. They make the same noise when they breed. So yeah, sometimes I'll be stood inside the base and I'll hear a big high-pitched squeal, and I'll immediately go sprinting out of the base to double check that my boar aren't being murdered by a Grey Dwarf shaman or something's broken in. Okay, we've got some flax planted, so pretty much all the flax we're currently picking up from the fullings we can just put straight into the spinning wheel. Same with the barley as well. That is one of the reasons why I would recommend exploring the plains and finding new fulling camps and clearing them out whilst you're growing them, because then every bit of excess you find is just bonus. You don't have to worry about waiting a week in-game in order to get all the stuff you need to grow it all. You can always just farm up some more. There is a case to be made that if you explore enough and find enough islands and enough camps, you'll never need to grow that stuff. You don't really have to set up the farm. It's just if you want to create a more sustainable option in terms of... oh, there's enemies nearby. Hello. There must be let me guess, a Grey Dwarf? Not Grey Dwarf. Greyling, maybe? Or a neck swimming around? I know there's something around here. Ah, Greyling, of course there is, yep. So yeah, there is a case to be made that you never even have to set up these farms at all. You will have to set up a farm for the seeds that you find from the Black Forest and the swamp, and from the mountain. If you want onions and turnips and carrots, you're gonna have to plant them, sadly. But that is just a small garden that you can place inside your home base and not have to travel out to a different part of the world. But I don't know, I'm just one of those that I like to gather a lot of stuff when it comes to high-level stuff like that we're going to use quite frequently, especially barley. It's nice to have a sustainable source of barley for flour, because a lot of... oh, Thor frowns upon me. Oh, I was trying to use it without it having anything in it. Sorry, Thor. There we go, we're trying to stick some resin in there. And once you've used quite a lot of barley and flax, if you decide not to set up a farm, it's going to be quite difficult later on in the game, if you do need more of it, to have to sail to all these different plains. You're going to have to continue finding newer plains and finding fulling camps in order to clear them out and get some more stuff. So I would recommend the sustainable way, but I would also say you don't have to worry too much about it. If when you first get to the plains, and when the plains is the current biome for you, if you just go off and explore loads of little islands and explore most of the map and find most of the plains biomes that you can, then you'll probably gather enough passively just to see you through most of the game. That's one of the other things I do like about stuff like that, is that you don't have to do the farming side of it. If you're a bit like me and you hate all forms of fishing in games, I'm really not a fan of fishing. I find it dull. I just think it's a bit of a waste of time. I'm not saying that developers shouldn't make fishing a thing, because I used to be a big World of Warcraft player, and I know lots of people who have played World of Warcraft and loved the fishing mechanics and like spending a bit of the downtime in between like organised guild events and stuff to do some fishing and stuff like that. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just not for me. I'm not one of those that wants to really sit there staring at a fishing line and then waiting for the little lure to bob up and down before clicking on it. I'll be honest, the reason I did it in this playthrough was just to make sure that we had a showcase of how the fishing worked so that I could explain it properly to you. I have done some fishing, don't get me wrong, it's not that I completely avoid it, I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's one of the reasons why I've never looked into all the different types of bait you can get and going to the different biomes to see, you know, to catch all these different biome fish and stuff like that. It's probably one of the reasons why I might be missing out on something important. I might be missing out on a whole bunch of different crafting recipes because we've never seen the other types of fish. I'm pretty sure that there aren't different crafting recipes and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that it's just different fish from different biomes. If you were a collector, someone who wanted to collect stuff for like everything in the game and stuff like that, you know, or if you're someone who likes fishing and you like making all the different baits and stuff like that, then, you know, again, I'm not saying that it's something that you shouldn't do, it's just something I don't care much for doing. Right, come on boat, we are floating way, we need to get closer to the coast, I don't want to be chopping this up. And one of the things I'm doing is obviously I'm cutting the boat down. Do we pick everything up? Fine wood, deer hide, yep, there we go, iron nails. We're going to take this over to the plains because after a while we are going to have gathered up quite a lot of black metal and other things that we're going to want to sail back. So we might as well get the boat there and get it ready. Also, we're going to have to explore on the boat. We're going to need to find some other plains islands after we've pretty much explored our main one. Although I will say our main one looks quite big. It looks big enough that if we go all the way north, we might even find some mistlands, which would be interesting to find quite early. We're doing 42, so we can make 2 pieces of armour with that. Ah, we put all the boat pieces in here. That was silly. Bloody quick stack. My own fault, I should have been paying attention. Where's the... Oh, we've got the deer hide already. Perfect. Yep, there we go. Right, so let's continue our little exploration of the plains now that it's a brand new day. And we don't have to worry too much about it being dangerous. We've got a couple of stacks of black metal. We'll leave it there for now. We don't desperately need to sail it back just yet. I think we're pretty much good. We will need it for upgrades later on. I might upgrade the axe. We're definitely going to upgrade the shield, the sword, and the porcupine. One thing we forgot to do, as we pretty much always forget to do, is to bring 10 stacks, oh sorry, a stack of 10 wood in order to... Oh, hello, Death Skeeto. Go away. Oh, he's too high up for us to hit. Yeah, we forgot to bring the wood to build the crafting table, to build the boat. As I usually do, because I'm a dummy and I always forget things like that. Lock and kill, there we go. Thanks for the needle. Down with one. Yep. I think that's enough. Perfect. Right. Crafting table. Workbench, sorry, I always call it the wrong thing. There we go, right on the coast. We can spin it round so we can actually get the front facing the right way. Oh, that landed on some ground, so we're going to have to quickly repair it. There we are. And we're going to have to reposition it. I don't know why I placed it in like this. I guess it's because I always like having the front to the left, but yeah, we really didn't need to do that. Oh, well that didn't work. We grounded ourselves as soon as we put the sail out. Fantastic. Oh, this is not a good start for my sailing. I think one of the main reasons why I get really frustrated with sailing sometimes is because when you make small mistakes like that, so if you get grounded or if you put the boat in the water in an awkward position and you have to get in and turn it round, it takes so long to do it because obviously you've got to wait for your character to manually kind of work the oar enough to get enough speed for you to start turning and to get away from the thing that's grounding you and stuff like that. It just frustrates me so much because it takes a while. You just got to sit there and wait whilst your character's working away to sail the boat. Looks like a few bits there. We might ground ourselves again. No, we're good. Hey, styled it out. Look at that. We only scraped the bottom of the boat a couple of times. think one thing we might do now, we are going to do now, is we're going to sail up the coast. And we're going to explore a bit of this plains without having to run through it. Only because it'll be quicker for us, or quicker and safer for us to get back. It's one thing you will have noticed with the larger islands when it comes to exploring, is that, say you're exploring around and it's a very big island and you're going from, say, the southern coast to the northern coast. By the time you get there, it's going to be nighttime already, which means when you run back, you're going to have to run back through the whole thing at night time, and if it's one of those biomes that has more dangerous enemies at night, and we've grounded ourselves, of course we have. Ugh, it's even worse when the wind's against you. We should be using the motor buff. Why am I not using it? But yeah, anyway, so yeah, you have to travel back through the biome at night time, and by the time you get back it might even be daytime as well. Unless you want to carry a portal with you at all times, and have that 30 or 40 carry weight saved up in your inventory. Which you could do. That's a legit thing to do. We are permanently stuck on the floor. We're going to have to push it off. This is irritating. Remember when I was complaining about not liking boats and it taking a while to get things unstuck? Yeah, this is what I mean. Sometimes you have to get out and push the boat because it's stuck. Right, that should have fixed it. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Push. Push. Sail the boat. Come on. Yes. There we go. Oh, sailing. Why? Why are you so annoying? Oh, I hope this next level of boat is better. I really hope it is. I really hope that I haven't just misheard or misread something and that there isn't another level of boat and I'm just going to be crying when we hit the Ashlands because we're going to have to continue using this one. I don't know why I'm hating on this boat so much. It's been really useful. Oh, we could eat another bite. And we've got no food with us. Wow, we have not come on this expedition prepared. This is... what am I doing? Seriously, what am I doing? This is amateur levels of play right here. Okay, well, one thing I've noticed, if you've been paying attention while we've been looking at the world map, you'll notice that question mark, and then underneath it says Sealed Tower. That is another one of the hard mode dungeons that the Clothier gave us. I really, really would not recommend doing the higher level Clothier dungeon, the Sealed Tower, until you are either finished in the plains or you're halfway through the Mistlands and you've got some Mistlands gear. It is horrible in there. It really is. When this when this update first came out, I was playing a multiplayer world with a few other people, and we went to the Clothier, picked up the quests, and decided to go and have a look at a few of the different ones. And the Sealed Tower was horrible. I'll give you a brief rundown. We probably will clear one at some point in the playthrough, but I will give you a brief rundown of it. Oh, there's a Death Skeeto who killed himself colliding with our boat. I love it. That was brilliant. Screw you, Death Skeeto. That's what you get for trying to do a drive-by on my boat. Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Sealed Tower. So a Sealed Tower is, as you'd expect, a giant tower. It's a big stone tower that is full to the brim, from top to bottom, with fullings. Now, I think because these are hard mode dungeons, they have a higher chance for 1 and 2 star enemies to spawn, because when we cleared one out, I think we cleared 2 out in total, when we cleared one out, we died repeatedly and spent a long time trying to kill off the fullings, because obviously there were lots of them. There's a couple of Death Skeetos here. We'll have none of that funny business stabbing, please. Where's the other one? He's in our base. Get out of my base. Is he stuck on the wall? Oh, see what I mean? You can fly over the walls. So even if you've built walls, these Death Skeetos will just fly up over it. Oh, the plants look ready. I think they're fully grown. So yeah, you're looking for a giant sealed tower. It's a giant circular tower, and when I say giant, it's giant. It's probably one of the biggest buildings and one of the biggest things you'll naturally see in the world. Even some of the other randomly generated, naturally occurring things in like the plains and stuff aren't that big. It's massive. It's full to the brim with fullings, and there's more 1 star and 2 stars. There's a lot more shamans. There's a lot more just in general. Now, you can get quite a lot of good materials from these sealed towers. You can get a lot of iron, you can get a lot of coins, a lot of black metal scraps. So I would probably say when you enter the tower, make sure you have a chest with you, or you've got the wood to build a chest so that you can have a place to store items that you pick up, because you won't be able to carry everything back at once. Even with Mjolnir. Even with Meginyords, I don't know how you say it, the belt, you won't have enough carry weight to carry all of the metals and stuff back. Now with the sealed tower, as you would expect with the name of it, it's a sealed tower. There is no standard entrance. You will have to either dig your way in, and we never did this, so I'm not sure if it's even possible. There might be a higher level of pickaxe, or a higher, like after the Mistlands, that you'll need in order to get in there. But from what I can remember, we were using iron pickaxes and we couldn't break the stone down, so we had to basically build a spiral staircase up the side of this tower, all the way up until we could find a ledge to get in. So there will be a few balconies and a few ledges that you'll be able to climb in. So yeah, that's how you get in. And then the fun begins, where you'll literally be fighting for your life the entire way. Now, one thing I would recommend is starting from, say, if you get about halfway up the tower and you've managed to find a ledge and get in, start working your way to the top, clear out all of that, and then work your way to the bottom. When you get to the very bottom floor, it'll either be the very bottom floor or a basement floor, there will be a boss, which is a berserker with a shaman on his back. And they will both attack at the same time. So as you're trying to fight the berserker, who's trying to smash you with heavy attacks constantly, you will have a shaman who's constantly pinging fireballs at you. They hit a lot harder than usual. I think they're even harder than the 2-star variants that they come with. I'm pretty sure you can get a 2-star berserker. I'm almost certain I've seen one in the past. So, oh, and that boss will also be surrounded by a boatload more fullings. So yeah, if any of you do decide to go and take on a sealed tower, have fun. Because it's a horrible experience. If it's fun, if you're confident and you've got good level of armor and healing potions, oh yeah, take your highest level everything. Highest level food, highest level healing potions, highest level weapons, armor, everything. Even if you're in the Ashlands and you've got Ashlands level gear, I'd still recommend taking the highest level that you've got, because it is a tough experience. As I said, with fullings, they like to gang up on you, and because this tower is full to the brim with them, you will be attacked by 5 or 6 of them at once, almost all the time. So yeah, that's just a brief rundown of the sealed tower. The game does explain to you that they are hard mode versions, so it does tell you, it does give you a heads up that this will be difficult. But yeah, the sealed tower is an experience, to say the least. And then when you kill the boss at the end, you get the item to take back to the clothier that will then stock her shop with more stuff. And that's pretty much it. She doesn't give you much else other than that. It's a bit of a disappointment sometimes, I'll be honest, but if you want some more fashionable things, there you go. You've got some sealed towers to clear out, and some howling caverns, and some, what are they called? Something crypt. Some kind of like ashen crypt or something. Okay, we are nearing the end of this session, so I will probably end the episode very, very, very shortly. Actually, yeah, we'll end it now. So, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. A little bit shorter than usual, but we'll keep it around this length for the foreseeable future. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.